dark age. But Bhaktivinoda says, there's no more, we don't have to be afraid of Kali Yuga anymore. Because Nityananda Prabhu is giving out the holy name even to the Chandalas. Achandale de nam nitai doyamoy. He's so merciful. And this Chandala, his name means someone who cooks dogs and eat them. So they're considered the lowest. You know, even regular meat eaters, they look down at the dog eaters. You know, I used to laugh in America. Somebody would hear about the dog eaters, and they're like, ugh. And I'd say, but you are eating the cow. You're eating pigs. You're eating all kinds of meat. So if they eat dogs, what is the big deal? Actually, it's better they eat dogs instead of eating the cow, because the cow is dear to Krishna. The cow is one of our mothers. In Vedas, a human being is said to have 7 mothers. You didn't know you had 7 mothers. There's 7 mothers, and the cow is one of them. So, when Mahaprabhu met with the Chand Kaji in Mayapur, you know, there's a wonderful pastime. The Kazi's men had broken a mridanga. First, the Kazi had given an order, no Sankirtan in the streets. Mahaprabhu started his Sankirtan movement there in Navadvip. And he was sending his devotees out every day. And the Hindus, the Shmarta Brahmin, they went to the Muslim ruler. The Chand Kaji was like the king of Bengal, the ruler. And they said, you have to do something about this Nimai Pandit. And he said, why? Isn't he one of you all? I mean, he's Hindu, he's not a Muslim. They said, no, he's not one of us. He's ruining our religion. So the Chand said, what do you want me to do? They said, stop him. Ban him from taking his chanting in the streets. So the Qazi, trying to please everybody, pacify them. After all, they're under his jurisdiction. He said, okay. So he declared, no more Sankirtan. When Mahaprabhu heard about this, he said, who cares about him? We're going to do it. This is the Yuga Dharma. So the devotees went out, and the Qazi's men, the police, they came and broke one of the drums. Because these are drums, it's clay, it's made out of clay. They're also called coal. Very, simple. And if you hit it with a baton, it'll break. If you drop it from this high, it'll break. So they broke it, and the devotees and the police told them, you come out, this is a warning. Tell your leader, can't do this anymore. Next time, jail, we'll put you all in jail. So when they told Mahaprabhu, he was only, I think Prabhupada said once, he was like 18 years old. Very young. But he had such influence. He said, he'd send his men, go to all the neighboring villages and tell people, I want them to come out tonight. Bring their mridangas and kartals and bring torches with fire, And at that, in one day's notice, 10,000 people came So Prabhu said, just see how much influence Mahaprabhu had as an 18-year-old boy, that he could gather 10,000 people in one day. So when they came, it's nighttime. He said, okay, now we are going to do Harinam, we're going straight to the Kaji house. And he led everybody there. And the Kaji, he was hearing, 10,000 people that's a lot of noise. You can imagine the voices, and who knows how many mridangas there were. Probably 50 or 100 mridangas. And they could play together. They knew the standard rhythms or beats. So they could play, and it had power. It wasn't just everybody just banging away. They played in time and everything. And they went straight to the Kaji house, and the Kaji was afraid. Although he's the ruler, the Muslims were still in the minority. Even after, when the British came, they were in the minority, but still they were controlling all of India. So the Kaji was Muslim, and when he heard, his servants told him, there's thousands of them. They're coming here. But he got afraid. He ran and hid under his bed. And Mahaprabhu, when he got to the house, he stopped the kirtan and he said, and he called out to him, Kaji, come out, why are you hiding? Come out, let us talk. And he addressed him as uncle, because this is common, young people will address older devotees, uncle, and auntie. So he said, why are you not coming out? Why are you treating me like that? You're my uncle. And he said, well, if you say I'm your uncle and you're my nephew, why are you coming here to give me trouble? So I'm not coming to give you any trouble, I just want to talk with you. So he came, and they sat down and they had a discussion. And the first thing Mahaprabhu said to him, what kind of religion it is you are following, where you're killing your mother and father? And the Kaji said, what do you mean? I don't kill my mother. And he said, cow is your mother and the bull is your father. And a nice discussion about you get many reasons why we are vegetarians. And the Kaji was convinced, actually. He became converted. And then he said, but there's something afterwards, a nice long discussion. And Mahaprabhu is sitting there with 10,000 people who are ready to do whatever he says. But they were controlled. And the Kaji says, there's something else I want to tell you, but I want to tell you in private. And Mahaprabhu said, these are my people. You can speak open, you don't have to worry. So what he wanted to tell him was that he had a dream the night before. He said, and in this dream, he said, a creature, half man, half lion, came to him and jumped on him on top. He's in his bed. And he said, he just scratched him on his chest. And he opened his kurta and he showed Mahaprabhu the scratch marks. And when the devotees saw that, they thought, oh, Nrsingadeva. And he said, and that lion, half man, half lion, told him, that mridanga you broke, that is my favorite instrument. If you do that again, I will kill all the Muslims in this area. All your family members, everybody will be, I'll kill them all. And then he left. So he was terrified. So, and he made a declaration that from that day on, for as many generations of his family, they will never give any problems to the Sankirtan movement. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so influential. So let's sing. You're not playing harmonium? Try. If you don't try, you'll never make it. Boro sukher khabo gai, boro sukher khabo gai, khabo gai, boro sukher khabo gai. Surabhi kunjete name hat khuleche. Surabhi kunjete name hat khuleche. Kodanitai, 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 kodanitai. Boro mojar kotatai, boro mojar kotatai. Boro mojar kotatai, boro mojar kotatai. Shraddha mule shuddha nam, sihatete bikai. Shraddha mule shuddha nam, sihatete bikai. Jata bhakta brinda bashi, jata bhakta brinda bashi. Adhikari dekhe nam, bichedaro kashi. Adhikari dekhe nam, bichedaro kashi. Jodi nam kinbe bai, jodi nam kinbe bai. Amar sange cholo maha jane kache jal. Amar sange cholo maha jane kache jai. Kodanitai, kodanitai. Kodanitai, kodanitai. Tumi kinbe Krishna nam, tumi kinbe Krishna nam. Dasturi loi boyami purna habe kam. Dasturi loi boyami purna habe kam. Borodoyal Nityananda, Borodoyal Nityananda. Shraddha Matra Loeden, Paramayananda. Shraddha Matra Loeden, Paramayananda. Ek baar dekhle choke jal, ek baar dekhle choke jal. Gaura bole nitai den, sakala sambal. Gaura bole nitai den, sakala sambal. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Then Shuddha Krishna Shika, then Shuddha Krishna Shika. Jati dana vidya bala nakore apeka. Jati dana vidya bala nakore apeka. Amani chare maya jal, amani chare maya jal. Grihe tako, bone tako, natake janjal. Grihe tako, bone tako, natake janjal. Arnaiko kalir boy, Arnaiko kalir boy. Achandale de nam, nitai doyamoy. Achandale de nam, nitai doyamoy. Bhakti vinodaki koi, Bhakti vinodaki koi. Nitai charan binayar, nahi ashrai. Nitai charan binayar, nahi ashrai. Boro sukhe kobo gai, boro sukhe kobo gai. Boro sukhe kobo gai, boro sukhe kobo gai. Surabi kunjete, namer hat kuleche. Surabi kunjete, namer hat kuleche. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Doyal nitai, doyal nitai, doyal nitai, doyal Haribol. um, so Nityananda Prabhu, who is described as the other self of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was so different in his how he carried himself, he was called an avadut, and he wasn't following all the standard behavior of Vaishnavas. He dressed differently, looked differently. But Mahaprabhu would always try to point out to the devotees, don't misunderstand Nityananda Prabhu. He's a great personality. When when Nityananda Prabhu first came to Navadvip, the night before he arrived, or the night he arrived, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a dream, and he told the devotees, I saw this great personality, and he was riding on a chariot with a flag of Balaram, and he has come here to assist, Sankirtan. So he told the devotees, go and find him. He's staying somewhere in Navadvip. And many devotees went and they searched the whole city. They came back, said, we didn't find anybody like that. Mahaprabhu says, come with me, I'll take you to him. And he knew exactly where to go. They went to the house of Nandanacharya. And when they got there, Nityananda Prabhu was sitting peacefully chanting japa. And you can't imagine when they both met, the love that was overflowing from both of them. The devotees witnessed it and they could understand he is no ordinary person. Of course, they didn't know he's Balaram. But from that day, before that, Nityananda Prabhu was touring India, going to all the holy places of pilgrimage. And he was waiting for Mahaprabhu to come out, to manifest. So when Mahaprabhu started manifesting the Sankirtan party, he said, now it's time to go and meet him. So he came there. And from then until a few years in Puri, he was there with Mahaprabhu all the time. But as I said, he behaved unconventionally. Not much is said about him in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but a lot is said about him in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. But he was just extraordinary. He would jump in the river with crocodiles swimming and swim amongst them, playing with them. Sometimes, one time he came to the house of the Srivas Pandit, and he came wearing no clothes. So that was enough to make people's eyes go up, When Mahaprabhu went and grabbed a piece of cloth and cover him up, he was oblivious to the external world. And Mahaprabhu took some of his kopins and tore it into little pieces of cloth, and he told the Grihastha men, you wear this on your arm, you'll be able to give up sex life. From Nityananda Prabhu. So he was always pointing out Nityananda Prabhu was not to be overlooked, but people still were, because of his behavior. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, who was I talking to? Oh, Prabhu. Rohinandan, one of Nityananda's followers, Miniketan Ramdas. You know, Nityananda Prabhu came with his cowherd boys, Dwadasa Gopals. 12 of them came down from Goloka to assist him in his pastime. And at that time, Krishnadas Kaviraj was living with his brother in his brother's house. And there was a program, you know, Sankirtan program. Many people came, and the pujari who was doing the arti worship indeed. And Miniketan Ramdas walked in, and everybody except the pujari, everybody knew he is. They said, seeing him is like you're seeing Nityananda. He was full of bhav and ecstasy, and he was twirling a stick like a cowherd boy. When he entered, everybody paid obeisances except the pujari. And Miniketan said, here's another Roma Harshana. In Krishna Lila, when Balaram came into an assembly, Roma Harshana was sitting on the Vyasasan, and he wouldn't pay respects to Balaram. And Balaram went and took a piece of kusha grass, poked him in his chest with the grass, and killed him. And the Brahmin said they couldn't, what can they do? But they told Balaram, had blessed this man, give him a boon, a benediction, that he would live for a long, long time. They were performing a jagya. They had begun this jagya, and it was supposed to last like a few thousand years. And they said, but we know you are independent, you can do anything you like. But now we gave him a benediction, and now our words become useless. And Balaram said, well, transfer the benediction to his son. And that son was Sutta Goswami. And he was able to speak on the Bhagavatam. He's there now in Bhagavatam. So this Miniketan Ramdas, he took offense because this man was thinking, the Pujari was thinking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I accept him. But Nityananda and his followers, they're madmen, I don't accept them. So therefore when Miniketan came in, he was thinking offensively about him. And Miniketan could understand. And he took his stick and broke it and he left. And Krishnadas went to his brother who was hosting the program. He said, he tried to explain to him, this Pujari, he's committed a great offense against Nityananda Prabhu. This is one of Nitai's top men. And the brother brother was more sympathetic to the Pujari. And Krishnadas Kaviraj just left home immediately. He became homeless. But Nityananda Prabhu appeared to him in his dream and told him, don't worry, go to Vrindavan, I've made a home there for you. And he went there, he walked to Vrindavan from Navadvip, and the deities, when he went before the deity, the garland that the deity was wearing fell off, and the priest brought the garland for him. And all the senior Vaishnavas asked him to write about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was very old at that time. He tells this story in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Nityananda Prabhu, he became homeless, but Nityananda Prabhu gave him a home in Vrindavan. And Vrindavan Das Thakur has a story also that Nityananda Prabhu appeared to him and told him to write Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left. So both these two books, which are very important to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, came by Nityananda Prabhu's grace. So he is not to be misunderstood. And our Prabhupada, he left India at an old age and went around the world. I like to say that he delivered thousands of Jagais and Madhais. Nitai delivered 2 Jagai and Madhai in Navadvip, but Prabhupada went around the world and delivered thousands. And right immediately after Prabhupada left, some of his devotees went to see Sridhar Maharaj, because they knew Prabhupada and Sridhar Maharaj they had a friendship spanning, 30, 40 years. And Sridhar Maharaj told them, I think, your Prabhupada, he's a Shaktavesh avatar. And he gave reasons how he arrived at that conclusion. He cited his preaching activities, everything. This can't be anything but Nityananda Prabhu. There was so much, Prabhupada went to the West, a place full of lechers and yavanas, and he went to the most degraded place in New York, on the Bowery. There he began his preaching mission. So Sridhar Maharaj says, without a doubt, I take him as a Shaktavesh. And Sridhar Maharaj's successor was devotee named Govinda Maharaj. He said, you say that Swami Maharaj, that was Prabhupada's sannyas name, you say that Swami Maharaj is Shaktavesh avatar? That's a big claim. Nobody in ISKCON taught like that. We dared not think like that Prabhupada is a Shaktavesh avatar. But when someone like Sridhar Maharaj said it, it wasn't just a sentimental praise. So Govinda Maharaj says, you say he's a Shaktavesh avatar, what kind of a Vesh? Because there's different kinds. In Bhagavatam, different kinds of Shaktavesh, different Shaktis. So Sridhar Maharaj says, he thought for a moment and he says, Nityananda Avesh. And then it became popular. Then it became popular in ISKCON for people to say, Prabhupada Shaktavesh. But they don't care about Sridhar Maharaj. They don't care about Sridhar Maharaj, and they don't care about anybody who follows Sridhar Maharaj. Still, we were in the car coming up today with Guru Maharaj, and he said it amazes him that they won't allow him to come to the temples and preach, the Prabhupada's temples. He said they claim to be so devoted to Prabhupada, but this is something that Prabhupada would never do. Prabhupada had Guru Maharaj go around to all the temples in the movement to preach, to enliven and encourage devotees to take up Sankirtan and book distribution. He personally ordered Guru Maharaj, you go to all my temples. And now they won't let him come to one of their temples. So he said, he was telling us today that, their minds are warped. that they're going to stop him from coming. One time in LA, Los Angeles, about 6 of the GBCs were there for Rath Yatra, and they invited Maharaj to come. One of them invited Guru Maharaj to come, and they told him, bring your disciples. And he was at that time in Oregon. He had opened a temple there. I was living there with him. And he came, and one of them asked, how do you think Prabhupada would deal with you now that you are outside? You've left ISKCON. He said, I think Prabhupada would tell you all, let him come. Let me come and give a lecture. And you all, and he said, and Prabhupada would tell you all, listen to what he's saying, and if he says anything wrong, then you can correct him. He said, that's what I think how Prabhupada would deal with you and me. Of course he won't stop him from coming. He recognized Guru Maharaj as, he told him once, you are one of the pillars of this society of ISKCON. He wouldn't bar him from coming, but they're barring him. And it's unfortunate for the other devotees. They're missing out. So you all are fortunate that you can hear him without any anxiety. So, because we're running out of time, let's sing Gauranga Bolite Habe. Gauranga Bolite Habe, it's in that booklet by Narottam Das Thakur. Before coming here, we were staying at, where is it? Namrasa, oh, yes. We were staying at her house, and Guru Maharaj had me sing this one night, and he spoke on it. Give a purport to Gauranga Bolite Habe. Yeah, it was recorded. I think it's on YouTube. You'll find it. But we'll do it now. I'll sing in a different tune today. Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babenira Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babenira Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babenira Hari Hari Bolite Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babenira Hari Hari Bolite Araka Benitai Chan Karuna Hoibe Araka Benitai Chan Karuna Hoibe Sangsara Bashana Mor Kabitu Chahabi Sangsara Bashana Mor Kabitu Chahabi Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babenira গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে, বিষয় ছড়িয়া খাবে শুধু হবে মন, বিষয় ছড়িয়া খাবে শুধু হবে মন। কবে হাম হেরব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন, কবে হাম হেরব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি, রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি। কবে হাম হেরব যুগল প্রীতি, কবে হাম বুঝব সে যুগল প্রীতি। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে রাহু মোর আশা, রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে রাহু মোর আশা। প্রার্থনা করো সদা নরোত্তম দাস, প্রার্থনা করো সদা নরোত্তম দাস। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। হরি হরি বলিতে, গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা, গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা, আর কবে নিতাই চান করুণা হইবে, আর কবে নিতাই চান করুণা হইবে, সংসার বাসন মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে, সংসার বাসন মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে, গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা, গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলাকা শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বাবে নীরা, হরি হরি বলি নয়নে বাবে নীরা। হরি বল। জয়।